and you're, instead of fighting it, you're just eating it up. You're consuming it. And what you're doing is you end up consuming your own demise. And I'm out.
Where did I
That
say?
was a great line.
It was a great line.
Done. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm out. Nailed it.
Can't top that. Hi there, Denise here with the TOWTalk Podcast. What follows is a discussion that goes further into the topic of AI. If you follow our channel, you'll recall that last week we did an episode entitled AI is Lying to You. And if you don't follow, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way to helping us create more content for you. That video discussed the rise of AI deepfake videos featuring very lifelike representations of famous people, such as actor Robert De Niro and Lincoln Project founder Rick Wilson. Since that video aired last Sunday, AI has been back in the news quite a bit this week. So earlier this week, it was reported that a moratorium, which would have prevented state governments from regulating AI for a decade, has been inserted into the National Defense Authorization Act, which is currently pending before the House. This is the same moratorium that was previously stripped out of the big bullshit bill back in the summer by the parliamentarian. I found out after we did the recording yesterday that the moratorium had once again been removed from this current defense bill, which for the moment is good news. That being said, the White House has put pressure on the GOP to pass the AI measure despite pushback from the states. So I believe we haven't seen the last of the AI moratorium. So why is it so important to the Trump administration that the states not have any ability to regulate AI for the next decade? Good question, right? What I can say with near utmost certainty is that AI is an existential threat that could profoundly change our way of life in the next 2 to 10 years, especially if it is left unregulated. Which is why it should alarm everyone as to why the wealthiest, most powerful people in the world are investing billions into implementing and maintaining control of AI. Ex-Google insider Tristan Harris appeared on Stephen Bartlett's podcast, Diary of a CEO, where he revealed how these tech moguls, I'm going to call them technogarcs, I like that word, are racing to build uncontrollable AI and warns it will blackmail humans, hack democracy, and threaten jobs by 2027. He went on to warn that AI and robotics could replace 99% of all human jobs and collapse key industries by 2030. Because why pay a competitive salary and benefits to a human when you can have a digital employee who's better skilled, more efficient, works for pennies on the dollar, never takes a day off, and doesn't require health care? See where we're going here? So, anyway, I highly recommend that you watch that episode of Bartlett's podcast. It's kind of long, but it's definitely worth the watch. And I'll be sure to post a link to it in the show notes below and maybe in the comments as well. Needless to say, the topic of AI is one that will impact every one of us, and we need to be awake, alert, and informed. And above all, we must be engaged with our elected leaders to ensure that they do not allow AI to be implemented without any oversight. With that, let's get into our newest video. Thank you so much. Hi guys, welcome to another segment of the TOWTalk Podcast. My name is Denise and I am here with my co-host Neil. And if you're watching our podcast from last week, we did an episode regarding AI. And I was talking about how AI was being used to create deepfake copies of well-known celebrities. Examples I was using was Robert De Niro and also Rick Wilson of Lincoln Project fame. So if you recall in the big, beautiful bill back in the summertime, there was a provision contained within that big bill that would allow AI to be unregulated by both the federal government and all state governments for the next decade. Thankfully, that was stripped out of that bill. Well, it's come back again. There is a defense bill being deliberated in the House that they've put that little thing back again. Basically, these tech oligarchs that control AI want to not have any regulations for a decade. So I wanted to do a follow-up and have a little discussion regarding AI and how it is going to profoundly change our world in the next decade. So Neil, what do you think?
I think every other country in the world is moving to regulate AI in an effort to protect their citizens. And based on what we're seeing here in the United States, our politicians could give two shits about its citizens and have decided that the only thing that matters is making money for the oligarchs in this country. We talk a lot about oligarchs in Russia, but all oligarchs aren't much different, and they do the same thing.
They seem to be
So-
modeling what Russia has done, literally modeling themselves after Russia.
They're modeling themselves after oligarchs. That's what oligarchs do. I mean, like, you go back to the 20s. I mean, Andrew Carnegie, Rockefeller, these guys were all oligarchs. I mean, you go up to Albany. Albany was a monument to Rockefeller.
Yeah, that's true.
This is what oligarchs do. They build monuments to themselves. They want to they believe they will live forever, and they believe that everybody should bow down to them and be beholden to them. And they want what they want, and they feel that they're the law. And we see this every day. We heard John Roberts say the other day, right? Our Supreme Court, justice, right? He flat out said, he says, it seems really, it's really disturbing that people, aren't following the law. Right?
Very disturbing that people aren't following the law.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And the issue is the lawlessness comes from the fact not that people are actually breaking the law. The lawlessness comes from you have a commander-in-chief that is giving orders, right, that are that are in violation of the law.
Violation of the
And
Constitution.
Right. And people are saying, no, we don't want to break the law. And he says, well, I am the law. Everything I say, anything I do, anything I order is lawful, because the Supreme Court already gave him that decision, made that decision that he's immune and that everything that he does is lawful as long as it's within as long as he's the president. So this is where we are, and they want to turn everything over to AI, which is absolutely dangerous. I mean,
it's incredibly dangerous.
Right. You have one AI, done by Elon Musk. It's a complete Nazi, like the unapologetic Nazi, right? You have another AI, that just decides to make shit up as it goes along.
And then you have these weird oligarch types like Peter Thiel, who was questioned, should the human race survive? And Thiel couldn't answer that question. He was just kind of like, choking on his own words. And then you have these massive, massive data centers going up in various places all over the country. I think is it Louisiana? Has one that's going to be like the size of Manhattan. And so they use massive amounts of electricity. Some of them want to have their own nuclear power plants, and I'll turn back to that in a moment. They use tremendous amounts of water. So this is going to affect our resources. It's going to affect the people that live around these data centers, because they're pumping out loads of pollution, right? The Trump administration has gotten rid of the EPA, right? So air quality laws are gone. Water quality laws are gone. They are free to fuck you up. All right. Fuck your communities up.
Have you guys, is everybody getting what is happening right now? Like, do you hear and see what's happening and how it all fits together?
It's all
the
connected.
idea is you are no longer an asset, right? Because you hear that our president say this. You have to be an asset to this country. You are no longer an asset to this country. You are a drain to this country. I don't care who you are. And I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm not talking about, people on SNAP. I am talking the collective, all of us.
Yes, salaries are going down. So I mentioned before about the decision by the educational department run by a fucking wrestling oligarch, whatever the fuck she is. And now a nurse is no longer considered a profession.
But you see, the point is you are utilizing resources,
They don't
right?
want
That they need, right? They need the power grid, right? To
Right.
power their AI. They need the energy. They need the oil. They need the water. They need, right? They need, look at their needs. They need these things. You are using these things.
The only thing
Okay?
they need us for is to pay the taxes to finance this stuff.
They don't even need that anymore. They don't even need that anymore because they're printing money. Okay?
Good
They
point.
don't need us. And they don't need our money because their money is international money, right? These guys have money all over the place. They don't need American currency. They utilize currency from everywhere. Not only that, governments from all over the world are giving them money. So this and not to make fun of South Park because South Park makes fun of us, right? But the Saudis are paying for everything. Now, they have all the money. So
Wow.
right, like you have to start looking at this from their perspective, right? They're trying to get rid of us, right? In every way. You hear it. They need to get us out of this country because we are utilizing too many resources, right, that they need. We're utilizing money, we're utilizing medical, we're utilizing, energy, whatever it is, we are utilizing resources that they need, and they need to get rid of us to be able to do it. How are they going to do it? Well, we see, first of all, ICE. They're obviously using, immigration, right? They're now talking about denaturalizing people. So, like this is all to remove large segments of our population. And you've heard Stephen Miller. The goal is to get us down to what?
100 billion people. So more than 2/3 of the population
Right.
gone. And where are they going to send these people? Out of the country, or they could just cut SNAP, starve people. They're not afraid. They're not afraid to starve people.
They're
Take a look
showing
at
you what they're going to do. They're going to kill. They're killing people. They
look
don't
at
care.
USAID. What happened?
Right.
It is estimated. It came out last month that is estimated that roughly as many as 400,000 people have died in the countries that USAID served. I guess that's out in Africa as a result of Musk cutting that off. As many as 400,000 and more to come. It's because people are starving to death, and most of those deaths are children. You can't sit there and say you're all about children first and pro-life or whatever when you're killing children. So.
But see that now is just a dog whistle, right? Because now the idea is well, if you're a Democrat and you believe in those things, then you're not an American. You're not a value add. Yeah. So the idea is that what they've been trying to do, right, is they want to eliminate people from this country. And I know it sounds like very far-fetched, and everybody keeps saying, oh, it's not going to happen. That's not who we are. And I'm exaggerating or whatever. These people need what we have. They need the resources that we are using, and we are consuming more. Okay. And
That's too much for them.
Right. And they want what we are consuming. More blackouts are going to be in our future, right? Because they're going to be requiring more and more energy, and there's nowhere else to get it from.
And just a reminder, for those of you that are living in the Hudson Valley that watch this podcast, Indian Point they're looking to put a data center there. And of course, Indian Point is also a former nuclear facility. And that kind of brings me back to that point I want to make. what would be a great way to stop a powerful AI that's run on an electrical power grid? Shut the grid off. But if that power is supplied by nuclear power located right on the site where that data center is, not so easy to shut that AI off. Just a thought. If that AI gets too much control.
I'm always one of those people. It's like, it's funny that how far we've come, right? Because we've come from movies like, I forgot the name of it, Clockwork Orange,
Clockwork
right? Right. You come from,
The
you see
Terminator.
movies like War Games. You see movies like The Terminator. You see, all of these are cautionary tales, and here we are putting them all together.
Yep.
And we're gonna
Space
say
Odyssey talked about it. Remember how?
right, right. And what we say is this is gonna be a good outcome, right? Like it is somehow, right? It's only going to be a good outcome. Remember, like you could say you like AI, but who's programming AI, right? Who is feeding you, right? This like perpetuation of information, right, on a constant 24-hour basis. It's the billionaires. It's the oligarchs. They're writing the code. Maybe not themselves, but they have people writing the code exactly the way they want, right?
Yes.
There's a reason why those Doge programmers, right, are all now sitting there like, I might be going to jail because I wasn't supposed to be doing what they told me to do, right? There's a reason for that, is because, you get a young kid who can write code, or even AI that's now writing code.
It can write its own now. It's becoming
Right.
self-sustaining. That's the scary part of just how self-sustaining it can be.
And you have oligarchs programming them. So you have selfish people, narcissistic people who only care about themselves, looking for more power and more money, right? Programming artificial intelligence, which is being fed into your brain 24/7. Okay. And you're, instead of fighting it, you're just eating it up. You're consuming it. And what you're doing is you end up consuming your own demise.
Yeah.
And I'm out.
Where did I
That
say
was a great line.
It was a great line.
Done.
Done.
Thank you very much, everybody. I'm out.
Nailed it. Can't top that.
No, I'm done.
But what was
Sign
it?
off. Peace out.
I think it was it out? No, it was Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan appeared on someone else's podcast. I don't remember whose podcast, talking about AI and AI becoming, I guess, a super intelligent AI. Apparently, he's now talking about super intelligent AI being the second coming of Jesus. Don't forget, these people are on the fucking payroll to plant things in your brain to get you thinking, right? Peter Thiel used the term about people. People who are against AI, people who want to regulate AI. This came from Bernie Sanders. Peter Thiel's quote was, "Those people are legionnaires of the Antichrist." You see where they're going with this? They want people to freaking pray to AI. People, wake the fuck up. What kind of craziness is Joe Rogan talking about Jesus is in the machine? What the hell?
But it's funny, right? Like Peter Thiel, right? And these oligarchs, and you have a bunch of these people like coming out and making these statements, right? And everybody is celebrating their statements because they're billionaires and they want to suck up to them and they want to be like, "Oh, you're great, you're great, you're great. Thank you very much for that." Right? And then they listen to somebody like me, and I'm like, people are going to say, "Oh, well, I'm this crazy conspiracy theorist because I say these things." But look at the reality in front of you.
Yeah.
Right?
This is coming from them.
Right.
This conspiracy shit is coming from them.
Right. I'm not making the shit up. They're saying the shit. I'm just repeating what they say. I mean, like, that's what it comes down to. And you may not want to believe what they say because it's so outlandish, right? But all I'm doing is repeating what they're saying, right? Like, Think about that in that way. I am not saying anything. I'm not making any of this up. This is everything that comes out of their mouths. This comes out of Stephen Miller's mouth. This comes out of Pam Bondi's mouth. This comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. This comes out of J.D. Vance's mouth. It comes down out of Peter Thiel's mouth, Mark Zuckerberg's mouth, Bezos's mouth, right? It comes out of all of them. They all talk this way, okay? All I'm doing is putting it in plainer terms so that you can understand exactly what they're saying. I'm just
and
an
what
interpreter.
their plan is.
That's
They have a
it.
plan. They are enacting their plan to freaking, downsize the population of this country in a very dramatic manner. And they've been working on it for a while.
They want to turn they believe that if everything was turned over to them, not AI, them, who can, because you got to remember something. There has to be somebody ultimately controlling the AI, and that is them, right?
That's right.
So what they are trying to do is sell you on the idea, put your life in AI's hands or put your life in their hands, right? And they will take care of you, right? This is trickle down economics at its best, right? It's, in other words, let me pee on you. Right,
Yeah, right.
Let me pee on you.
I know
right?
what to tell you, it's ring.
I will give you the best golden shower that you have ever had in your life, and you will enjoy it. I watched the president, okay? I watched the president literally call two women stupid on Air Force One, okay?
Yeah,
He turned
piggy.
He called it, no, this is before, this is, I think, after the piggy comment, right? He called them stupid on Air Force One, okay? And then the two women turned around and thanked him afterwards, right? Because he was like, oh, you're just stupid for asking that question. And then he turned to the other woman, he goes, and you too, right? And then he goes, I'm out of here, and then walks away, like as if that's a finishing note, right? Like as if like he did this great thing, right? And then they turned around and said, thank you, Mr. President.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Get a fucking backbone.
But it's not media, right? Like he treats it. They all look at, or take it in its totality, right? These people are all affiliated with Epstein. These people are all affiliated with war crimes. They have no regard for human life. They don't care about anybody but themselves. It's all about them, and they want everybody to suck up to them and kiss their ass at all possible times. They want you to be thankful. They will give you money, and then you can be thankful to them, and you can bow down to them. They don't want to pay taxes because they want you to be beholden to them. And if they pay taxes to a government, then you can't. Then you won't be beholden to them. You won't thank them for all that they did for you, right? They want you to kiss their fucking ass.
Fuck them.
And you better fucking do it. Otherwise, you're on a plane to wherever country that they've contracted with to put you up. Okay? That's what they want. And this is where the country is going unless people stand up, And this is where we talk about Kat Abba-Ghazaleh. This is where we talked about Afton Bain. This is where we talked about these people, because this is why it's important. At this point in time, we're at a tipping point.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Call it
this
a
is
tipping
sort of
point,
it.
a crossroads, wherever. But
It's always about the next guy, not about Donald Trump. Donald Trump isn't like, he's a bad guy, but he isn't the person that we need to be really afraid of. It's going to be whoever follows Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of where we are here. We because Trump isn't forever, but you're right. They are building that foundation beneath Trump to be prepared for whoever goes next. I don't think it's Vance. I don't think Vance has it. He doesn't have the support of MAGA.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that.
But that's a separate. A separate issue.
That's a separate discussion. This AI thing, though, they have everybody fooled and convinced that this is going to happen tomorrow, right? And we have a lot of things that are going to happen between now and then that are going to reshape this country. One of which is going to be, there's going to be an economic downturn. There's an economic downturn when Michael Berry and Peter Thiel are betting against the markets. They're not betting against the markets because of the fact that markets are going to go up. They're betting against the markets. They're betting against you. They're betting against Americans, and they're doing it on purpose. all right? Because they know that it's going to fail. And who's going to bail them out? We're going to bail them out,
Yeah,
right?
as we always do.
And they're going to walk away with billions of more dollars. They will become even richer, okay? And if you think that this Democratic Party, okay, is going to do anything about it, you're fucking kidding yourselves, right?
Well, many of them are on the payroll right alongside the GOP. You
Sure.
know.
I listen, not to take a side note, I just want to mention this because it's been eating me alive and I really need to say it.
Okay.
If I have to listen to Hakeem Jeffries one more time, right, I'm done. Like I'm done. The guy is like, he gives up. I've never seen it. I told the 27-year-old today. Okay, I told the 27-year-old. I said, don't even bother. Don't even bother coming to work. Don't even bother with anything. Hakeem Jeffries says you should just stay at home and just die. Don't even bother. You're never going to own a home. You're never going to be happy. It's never going to happen because they're not going to let you. So why even bother, right? Because that's exactly what Hakeem Jeffries is telling everybody. We're not going to try because it's too hard, because we're not going to win. Wah. And that's why they always sound like snowflakes, and that's why people get pissed at them. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, no, we need we need a leader that wants to fucking fight. You
need a leader with a spine.
Yeah,
who's gonna try. Listen, America has never been the country of I give up. I give
Facts.
up.
Facts.
And the Democrats have become the party of surrender.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's both sides, because Republicans don't stand up either. They just kiss up. I mean, did you see that cabinet meeting?
But they
come on.
Like, here's the thing: they have a conviction. They have a conviction that they want to be fascists. Listen, there's a pretty solid conviction there. And listen, anytime they want to vote for something, they vote for it. They voted to give more money to billionaires. They voted for the big beautiful bill. They keep their people in line, and they vote for things that are bad for Americans, right? There's no doubt about that at this point in time. They threw farmers under the bus. They threw working class people under the bus, families. They threw women under the bus. They threw Hispanics under the bus. Pretty much every group that you can think of, they've thrown under the bus. And then they celebrate themselves and say, "Oh, we're anti-DEI."
That's a good thing. Idiots.
Right. And I'm just really sick and tired of it, because this AI fight is a real fight. Every other country is fighting for their citizens, because they know that if you replace people with AI, if there's a faulty code, and we've all experienced it, there was one fairly recently with Amazon where all of a sudden it was CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike uploaded a thing that took down everybody's computer. Okay?
Wow.
Imagine somebody puts in a bad patch, right? And all of a sudden you turn everything over to AI. Okay? You're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Think about this, just how they're using it. It's going to be used for surveillance. It's attached to everything. People sit there talking. Yeah, it is. Well, you think about, people sit there. What do you think Doge was about? It wasn't about saving money. They didn't save any money. It was about collecting all that data, compiling it together, sending it over to Thiel with his Palantir company, and using it to create profiles on every single American so that they can spy on you. Spy on you, spy on me, spy on your neighbors.
Identify
science
threats.
Fiction.
Science fiction. Let's take the Avengers Civil War, right? It's Captain America's Civil War, right? There was a whole movie about how they could compile everybody's information, right, and determine who are the good people and who are going to be the troublemakers, right? And they were going to eliminate them one by one. And I know that that's really far-fetched, and I know that takes it to an extreme, but what is the other extreme, right? You're talking about the Minority Report, right? Where they went out and they decided to do pre-crime, right? Well, we know that you're predisposed to committing a crime because of the way you talk, or we know that you're going to be anti-American because of the way you talk.
The precogs. The
Right.
precogs are watching you. You know.
Like where the question is I understand it's a slipper. We talk about slippery slope, but George Orwell wasn't wrong.
Not at all. Not at all.
You know, and you know, AI could really be our demise as Americans. I mean, you know, we have outsourced everything to China and other countries. China, and you know, we talk bad about China, but what did China do? China invested in their country. They invested in their infrastructure. They invested in their people. Right? They have one of the largest middle classes right now in the world.
It is the largest. It is the
Right.
largest.
You know, and that's just not because of their population size. It's because they invested in their people as America was investing in China. And what did Americans get? Americans got nothing. We got the short end of the stick. We got sold a bill of goods by billionaires saying, yeah, we're number one. But at the end of the day, our cities are crumbling, our infrastructure is crumbling, and now our
agriculture
energy
is
system,
now
our
crumbling.
agriculture, right, and our energy
That's a big
systems
one.
are crumbling.
Yeah.
Right. And what, you know, what do we have to show for it at the end of the day? You know, we're a consumer society that now consumes outrage.
Good statement. Yeah,
Wow.
that
That's
is
another one.
100.
Two
That's
in
a
one
keeper,
night.
man.
Man,
That's a keeper.
damn. I'm knocking them out of the park tonight, baby.
That is a keeper. We consume outrage. That's
Consume
it. We
outrage.
consume outrage. We consume bullshit. We consume lies. But one thing we don't consume is the truth anymore. And we're trying to give you some truth here. You need to watch AI. We need regulations. It needs to be regulated. It needs to be controlled. You got to talk to your leaders. Hopefully they'll listen. Or
We need
you
to
got to fucking
elect
run
new
against them.
leaders.
Yeah.
We need primaries. We need Republicans being primaried. We need Democrats being primaried. We need Republicans with a backbone. We need Democrats with a backbone. We need people who are actual real center people, right? People who understand what populism isn't left. Populism is center. Populism means that everybody wants the majority of Americans want something, okay? If the majority of Americans want something, that's the center, people. That's the center, okay? Okay? That is how you determine what the center is, right? It's popular ideas, right? The fact is that Democrats and Republicans have moved so far away from popular ideas and so far away from populism, nobody even wants to register as a Democrat or Republican anymore. Look at all these districts that they're gerrymandering, right? In almost every district that they're gerrymandering, the number of registered voters who are unaffiliated outweigh both Democrats and Republicans.
Really? I
Yes.
didn't know that yet.
Yep. And now you have a group of people, right? The social democrats, right? Who aren't real Democrats. I'm not going to call them real Democrats because Democrats to me mean something different because that's the corporate Democrats, right? The social democrats, they're winning, and they're winning on a popular message, right? And they're winning on human rights and dignity. Okay. And I'm sorry, we are the richest country in the world. Okay. And we are entitled to human rights and dignity.
You hear that?
Right? We have inalienable rights.
It's written in our Constitution.
That go beyond the Constitution. You know what? Thomas Jefferson was right about that. We had to codify them because somebody was going to come along at some point in time and try to take them away from us. They knew that. Okay, that's why they codified them. But they are not rights given to you by your government, which is what these guys, these politicians are trying to tell us. Okay, that's what these politicians are trying to tell us. They're trying to tell us, well, we've given you the rights, we can take them away. No, no, no. These rights, according to Thomas Jefferson, are divine rights, right? That were codified in law, right? In order to prevent an authoritarian government or authoritarian regime from taking them away from us, right? And that's what your Second Amendment was supposed to be about. But, you know, I guess our Second Amendment for MAGA
where are those
types,
Second Amendment guys?
Right. The Second Amendment for the MAGA people, the Second Amendment for the MAGA people were just apparently, we want our guns because we want white. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, this is your fucking moment. Where are you people? Right? Don't tread on me or like, tread on me, daddy, please.
They are. They're like,
Literally, they're calling
please,
the Treader Daddy.
please give me the golden shower. That's what
Yeah,
they're saying. They want that golden shower. They're waiting for it. They're still waiting for it. They're actually waiting for it. They're waiting. They're like, oh, where's my Doge check?
Where's that
Where's my
Doge
tariff
check?
check?
It's never.
Where's my
They're not
tariff
coming.
check?
It's not coming.
Doge check, tariff check.
Yeah,
you know,
they keep throwing that out. And what's a Doge check gonna pay? What's a tariff check gonna pay? Then don't forget there was the health care pay, right? Oh, they don't need subsidies. We'll write you a check and you can go get your health care, right? Right? And that's not coming either. But that's why we need to really pay attention. And as you can see, what we pointed out sort of in a roundabout way is how all these different things they have done, starting with Doge, that bullshit, has come together to allow this AI to really expand on a dangerously high level. And it's here. And it's going to affect us, but it's up to us as the people of this country to decide just how much power we want to give them.
And just keep in mind, right? Anytime somebody builds something, somebody always finds a way to break it, right? To break the code, to break in, to do whatever, right? You hand everything over to AI, all your money's going to be gone tomorrow because somebody's going to write a code, right, with
That's
AI
going to steal it.
that's going to go in and steal your money, okay? And then they won't be able to trace it to a person because it'll be AI that took the money, okay? At which point in time, can you arrest AI? No.
No.
Do you think that they're going to hold Peter Thiel accountable? No. Like, they're not going to hold any of the
But he's
oligarchs
walking off with
accountable.
your money because I guarantee he's the one that gets it.
Right. They're going to walk off with your money. Like, all you need to do is look at history. History tells us exactly how this is going to end, right? I just don't understand how average Americans are just completely oblivious to this crap and how they believe, what the oligarchs are pumping through their television at this point in time.
Yeah.
Like, enough's enough. We got to stop. We just got to stop.
Got to stop. You got to look down other avenues to consume content as far as so you can get another perspective, and you got to watch, and you got to speak well, I know I was going to say you got to speak to your leaders, but a lot of our leaders are right alongside. They're ushering this in.
You got to find leaders. You got to find leaders in your community who put action to words and will go out there and fight. That's what needs to happen. You need to stop with the snake oil salesmen, the people who peddle lies, right? And you got to find the people who are speaking truth and willing to fight for you. Okay, that's what needs to happen, and until that happens,
we the people, we need to support those individuals who go up there because it's been said by many people that are in Congress now that there is a lot of threats that go on. They're dealing with a huge internal fight. GOP's dealing with an internal fight amongst themselves. We have now many that have announced that they're not, on both sides, announced that they are not seeking re-election, which is that's another topic I'd like to discuss separately.
Good riddance.
Yeah. Well, no, I have my theories as to what I think is going on. But it is a good thing that they're going because it opens up opportunities. But we need people that want to stand up and fight. And the biggest way we can do that is not support any candidates that are taking PAC money. That's it. And the PAC money.
I think what you have to do is rather than sit there and watch on TV and form your opinion based on what you see on TV and what you read, look at the actions of the people who are talking and listen to their words. Okay. And I say actions too, because there are times that you got a guy like Cory Booker is out there, right? And he's saying stuff, but his actions don't always match his words. Okay. And you have to be very careful of that. Okay, you have to be careful of the guy who's going to tell you one thing and do something else. Okay, because there are a lot of those snake oil salesmen out there. What you have to do is you have to find the people who are going to do what they say. Okay, they're few and far between, but find those people and then back those people. Okay, and yet they're going to get attacked in every way. Okay, they're going to get ridiculed. They're going to be, they're gonna have pages on Facebook against them. They're gonna be they're gonna be in every way. They're gonna be vilified.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we're
but
seeing it.
it's up to you to stand up for those people. You are gonna be. It's up to the people to be the army, right, of change. And the only way you're gonna do that is by standing behind good people.
Yeah. So this is been a public service announcement. Like, the threat of AI is really is bigger than you can imagine. It's real. It's here. It seems like science fiction, but it's reality. It's like Skylab coming at us. So hopefully they don't create Terminators, but I wouldn't put anything past these people.
Well, they're
And
going to create if they're looking to replace all those jobs, they're obviously going to have to be some type of animatronics. Unless you're going to have some type of robot in the field picking stuff, and you're going to have some robot stocking shelves in the supermarket, and you're going to have some robot. Like, if this is where they're going, there's a lot of manual labor out there. You're going to have to have robots that do it. If that's what they want to do.
And that means that a lot of us are going to have our jobs replaced this way. And do you
Then
really
what need
want
do
that?
they have for us? The question is what need do they have for you? Are you really an asset to them? Right? You consume energy. Your job is replaceable by AI,
Or
right?
a robot, or both.
So the question really you got to ask yourself is what is your net add or net value to the United States, as Trump said? Again, his words, not mine. His words, not mine. Okay, you may think you're of value to the United States because you have a job and you're earning money and you're doing this, but if you're one of those if you have one of those jobs that they're going to replace with AI, you may not be an asset as you think you are, because you're also using energy, right? And
Oxygen, you're breathing.
You're consuming energy, you're consuming water, two things that they need more than you. Believe it or not, that's what they believe.
That's where we're at, folks. So I highly recommend that you guys check out Bernie Sanders. Obviously, you can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Instagram. He did like I said, a 15-minute speech about this and about its impact and about its profound impact. Also, some of this information I also collected from Secular Talk with Kyle Kulinski. He does a great, he shows you clips of Bernie Sanders' video and gives you some great commentary that backs everything that we just said and then some. You got to get more information. You got to be well informed. You got to keep an eye on the power of AI and how it's going to be used to profoundly change our lives, and not in a positive way. It's not looking that way anyway at this point. All right, folks?
Just remember to watch us first, though, because we're a lot more entertaining than those guys.
Yes, we are. And if you haven't already, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. All right? Subscribe to the channel. We'd love to hear comments. Your comments matter to us. I try to respond to as many as I can. So please do that. Let us know what you think. And stay tuned. We got more content coming. Oh, before I forget, now every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we do a live stream for about an hour, give or take a bit, where we can talk to you. We'll pick a topic, maybe a couple of topics to discuss, and you can join in on the conversation and give us your comments, and we will talk about those too. All right, so look for us this Tuesday, and in the meantime, take care, and thanks so much for watching.
Peace out.